In this video today, we will be teaching you about the law of demand and the law of supply. The law of supply is a fundamental principle of economic theory which states that, as we keep other factors constant, an increase in price results in an increase in quantity supplied. In other words, there is a positive relationship between price and quantity. Quantities respond in the same direction as price change. The law of supply, in short, states that ceteris paribus sellers supply more goods at a higher price than they are willing at a lower price. Supply is the opposite of demand. There is a positive relationship between price and quantity supply. Here is an example of how the quantity supply changes as price goes up. Same as demand, we will start by plugging in all the numbers from the lowest to the highest price. At the end, after we connect all the dots together, the quantity supplied on the supply curve shows that when price goes up, quantity supply increases, and when price goes down, quantity supply decreases. The supply model helps solve many problems. Here are 4 examples. 1. Nature of goods. If the goods are perishable in nature and the seller cannot wait for the rise in price, seller may have to offer all of his goods at current market price because he may not take risk of getting his commodity perished. 2. Government policies. Government may enforce the firms and producers to offer production at prevailing market price. In such a situation, producer may not be able to wait for the rise in price. 3. Alternative products. If a number of alternative products are available in the market and customers tend to buy those products to fulfill their needs, the producers will have to shift to transform his resources to the production of those products. 4. Squeeze in profits. Production costs like raw materials, labor costs, overhead costs, and selling and administration may increase along with the increase in price. Such situations may not allow producer to offer his products at a particular increased price. What other variables affect supply? A. Technology change. Technology helps a producer to minimize his cost of production. B. Resource supply. The producer also has to pay for other resources, such as raw materials and labor. If his money is short on supplying a certain number of products because of an increase in resource supplies, then he has to reduce his supply. C. Tax or subsidy. A producer aims to maximize his profit, but an increase in tax will only increase his expenses, decreasing his capacity to buy resource supplies and forcing him to reduce his supply. D. Price of other goods produced. A producer may not only produce one product, but also have other products as well. A producer's money is limited, and if he increases his supply in one product, he would have to decrease his supply in the other product. E. Seller's expectations. When the future price goes down, seller will increase the supply today. As we know that demand has a negative relationship between price and quantity demanded, here is an example on how the quantity demanded on the demand curve changes as price changes. We start by plugging in the numbers onto the graph, from the lowest to the highest price. After we connect all the dots together, we will see that the demand curve shows when price goes up, the quantity demanded decreases, and when price goes down, the quantity demanded increases. Demand has a negative relationship between price and quantity demanded because buyers are more willing to spend money when a product is cheaper, thus a higher demand for the product. What other factors affect demand? Here are 6 examples. An increase or decrease in any of these factors affecting demand will result in a shift in the demand curve. Depending on whether it is an inward or outward shift, there will be a change in quantity demanded and price. 1. Normal goods. When there is an increase in the consumer's income, there will be an increase in demand for a good. If the consumer's income falls, then there will be a fall in demand. 2. Complementary goods. When there is a decrease in price of complements, then the demand for its complements will increase. Complementary goods are goods you usually buy together, like bread and butter, tea and milk. If the price of one goes up, the demand for the other will fall. For example, if the price of a yoga class falls, then there would be an increase in demand for yoga mats. 3. Substitutes. An increase in the price of substitutes will affect the demand curve. Substitutes are goods that allow consumers to buy in place of another product, like how Coca-Cola and Pepsi are very close substitutes. If the price of one goes up, the demand for the other will rise. For example, if meditation classes became more expensive, then there would be an increase in demand for yoga classes. 4. Change in preferences. If there is a change in preference, then there will be a change in demand. For example, yoga became mainstream for a couple of years ago, and health enthusiasts promoted its benefits. This trend led to an increase in demand for yoga classes. 5. Market size. If the size of a market increases, like if a country's population increases, or there is an increase in the number of people in a certain age group, then the demand for a product would increase. For example, if the birth rate suddenly skyrocketed, then there would be an increase in demand for baby products. 6. Price expectations. When there is an expectation of a price change, and people expect the price of a good to increase shortly, then they are more likely to purchase it sooner, which would increase the demand for the product. For example, if people are expecting the price of a laptop to fall, then they will delay their purchase till the price lowers.